Hi, welcome to Muzzle First. So I was going through the range brass that I collected last weekend, and I thought we would talk about two topics tonight. I thought we would talk about range brass, and we'll talk about the 22 TCM. All right? So I collect my range brass every time I'm at the range. Well, there are times my back's bothering me and I don't feel like bending over to pick it up, but for the most part, I pick up my range brass anytime I can. And like this past weekend, I took all aluminum cased ammo. So this is all stuff that people had left laying around that I picked up before I left. So I was going through this and I found something really cool I wanted to show you. But I want to talk about range brass first. All right. So I don't know how many people actually pick up the range brass. I know we have at the outdoor range I go to, we have several people that I shouldn't say several. There's mainly two people that I've seen do it that go around from shooting area to shooting area, picking up brass that people leave. After people leave, after people leave, they go in there and they'll pick up the brass. And so I generally try to police my brass when I'm done, or sometimes during shooting. Sometimes I'll take a break in the middle of shooting and I'll pick up some of my brass, or if my kids are with me, I'll get them to pick up some brass for me or something. But I always pick up my brass. In its basic essence, this is a semi-precious metal. So it's brass. It's worth money. You can take this to a recycling place and sell it. They will buy it from you. They'll buy it by the pound. They won't give you much money for it, but they will give you some money for it. And it doesn't take a whole lot of it to make a pound of brass. It's a fairly heavy metal. It's worth more money, though, to be sold as once-fired brass for reloaders. So people reload this. People will take this brass, they'll punch out that spent primer, they'll push a new primer into it, they'll put powder in it, they'll press a ball in it, they'll crimp it, and it's shootable again. So people will pay money for this. How much money? Not much, but this one single 9mm case is worth about a nickel. Okay? Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on, I guess, how badly the person needs it and how much is on the market at that particular time. But let's just say a nickel a piece, because you can get a nickel a piece out of these pretty easy. Different cartridges are worth more, or worth less. You'll probably have to check like Arms List or something and see what people are currently selling it for, and price yours competitively. Price your brass around the same. You can also buy it on eBay. You can advertise this on Craigslist. You have to advertise it as non-reloaded, unloaded ammo, because people will flag it. There are a bunch of internet nannies that go around flagging ads and stuff like that all the time, trying to get it banned. But whatever, you can sell it on there because it is not loaded ammunition. It's just components. You can sell components on there, just nothing that goes boom. So you can do that. So if you save 1,000 pieces of 9mm, and by the way, there's over 1,000 pieces in there. If you save 1,000 pieces of this and you sell it for 5 cents a piece, I mean, you got $50 to spend on ammo. So it adds up pretty quick. You don't have to, collect 10 cases and try to sell 10 cases. Just save it up until you've got, 1,000 cases. Put it on Arms List, put it on Craigslist. Heck, even put it on a video. If you've got a YouTube channel, make a video that you're selling it, and I guarantee you somebody will buy it. I've bought reloading components off of YouTube videos. I've done that. So I know that it happens, and I know that it works. So one of the cartridges I found out there was actual live 9mm round. It's not been struck either. First thing I thought was that it was a light primer strike, but looking at it, I see no evidence that it was ever struck. See how close I can get there. It looks like to be about as close as I can get. I'm not sure if that's in focus or not, but I see no evidence that it was ever struck. I'm assuming maybe they had a jam and they cleared the jam and this flew out. It's silver tip. It's not a brass. It's not a copper cased round. So kind of blends in pretty good with the gravel that was in the pit. Just unusual. I don't normally find live ammo laying on the ground. I will try to fire it. I'll put it in my SIG or something and just see if it goes boom. All right. But the thing that I really found that intrigued me was this one. This right here is a 22 TCM, and it's the first 22 TCM casing that I found out there. I'll show you the head stamp right there. And as far as I know, the only company that makes this is Armscore, which I believe is the parent company for Rock Island Armory. Rock Island Armory also is the only company I know of that makes a gun for this. So I'd like to meet whoever was shooting this, because I would really like to shoot this. But I have nothing to shoot 22 TCM. I don't have the components to reload 22 TCM. And the reloading manuals that I have, like this one, don't even cover 22 TCM. So if you look at when this manual was printed, and I'll just show this out here just for curiosity. So the first printing of this Lyman Reloading Guide, Reloading Handbook, was 2008. The fourth printing was in 2010, April of 2010, and this is the 49th edition. This caliber didn't really hit the market until 2012. I'm sure they probably had it prior to 2012 because they came out with a gun in 2012. So they probably had this in 2010, 2011, but it wasn't on the market until 2012. That's the first reference I can find to 22 TCM being around. And I do know it's not in my Lyman manual, nor any other manual that I have. So there is a 50th edition Lyman. I don't have it to see if this made it to the 50th edition. I'm sure it probably did. They're pretty good at adding new calibers to it. But I want to talk about 22 TCM real quick because it's kind of an interesting caliber. So it's a shortened 5.56 NATO case. There were some chatter about it actually being based on a 9mm, but it's not. It's actually based on a 5.56 case. The 5.56 and the 9mm cases are pretty darn close in diameter, but they're designed differently at the base. The base is a lot thicker on the 5.56 than it is on a 9mm. So the 22 TCM, TCM stands for Tuason Craig Micromag. It is a proprietary bottleneck cartridge developed by a gunsmith named Fred Craig and the Rock Island Armory. It was designed for a line of high-capacity semi-automatic pistols manufactured by Rock Island Armory. And those pistols started hitting the market in 2012. Right now there's, I'm going to guess, half a dozen maybe models they have that take this, and one rifle. So they did bring out a Rock Island Armory, I think it's just called a TCM rifle that chambers this. So the 22 TCM, it is just a 22 caliber, and it uses a it gives up a little bit of bullet mass, just like the 5.56. It gives up a little bit of bullet mass for increased velocity and lower recoils. And from what I've read on this, 22 TCM is a very controllable recoil, especially for the velocity that you're getting. So the ammo that I can find for this is made by Armscore. It's made with a small pistol primer. I have the primer and I have the powder, but it uses a 40 grain jacketed hollow point bullet. That's a pretty small bullet, but out of a 5-inch barrel, they have ballistics listed as 1875 feet per second. That's pretty darn fast. That's pretty good for a low recoil round like that. That's not bad at all. So like I said before, it is based on the 5.56 NATO. It's shortened. So the shoulder is at approximately the same length as a 38 Super cartridge. All right, and so the shoulder, we're talking about the bevel area up here. It's somewhat longer than 9mm, and this is only the latest. I think there's been 5 cartridges similar to this. This is the 5th one. So I guess there were 4 of the cartridges similar to this that are all developed based off of a 1950 vintage 222 Remington cartridge. All right. So the case on this is 1.022 inches long, and it has a maximum overall length of 1.275 inches. That is important because 1.275 inches is the same maximum overall length of the 45 ACP, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of why the RIA guns, I'm assuming, come out in a 9mm form. It's very close, and they use a 38 Super double stack magazine, and they feed them in their RIA 1911s that are chambered for this. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else haven't we covered? I think that's been about everything that I think that's about everything I know about it. What little bit of research I've done on it. Pretty cool cartridge. Maybe one day I'll have a gun that shoots this. You never know. Never really know what I'm going to buy next. So that's about it. Let me know if anyone else out there has found any odd things like this. You know, odd calibers like this at the range. I know I'm not the only one that collects brass, because I see other people do it. Even if it's just their own brass that they take back to reload or give to friends or to sell. I have friends that give me brass that go to the range and they shoot 5.56, and they'll bring their brass and they'll just give it to me. And I'm not selling it. I'm not making money off of it. I'm saving it if I ever need it. I've got a crap load of this stuff. I probably would need I have to use a magnifying glass to read all the numbers on these, especially after doing quite a few cartridges. But it's a valuable metal, and you should pick it up. If you don't pick it up, find a friend that reloads. Pick it up. Pick your brass up for them. Give them your brass. You know, I see people at the indoor range that just pitch it in a trash can, and I pick out pieces that I can get to easily without digging too much. But I kind of hate seeing that, because people can use it. Someone can reuse all of this brass, and they'll pay you money for it. That's about it. That's about all I wanted to talk about. If you got any comments, there's an area below the video on YouTube where you can leave your comments. You can also contact me through YouTube if you would like, or you can send me an email at my email address, muzzlefirst@gmail.com. Visit my website, www.muzzlefirst.com. I'm also on Facebook if you'd like to reach me on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. Alright, this has been Muzzle First. Thank you, and you have a good day.